Did Mr. Bachchan seek this order against any person or company in particular?
Well, we had some of the defendants within the jurisdiction of Delhi. One. Two, the cause of action has arisen all over. And of course, we had substantially some of the known defendants in the Delhi jurisdiction, Vidya. That's why we approached.
Did Mr. Bachchan initiate any legal action before approaching court?
So there are 8. No, so not in particular, but there were 8 people. Of course, primarily defendant number 1 and 2. One was on a fake call. The second was on a lottery. There was a third one on the misuse of a T-shirt and a film poster. And there were the last 7 and 8 defendants who were related to a domain name registration. So basically, these were known defendants. And this was a hybrid action which we did against 8 defendants, and the rest, the world at large, is unknown defendants.
Will Mr. Bachchan's permission have to be sought before using any of his attributes?
So the 8 respondents were served. They did not appear. The action is based on Article 21. It's based on the jurisprudence of personality rights. Now, personality rights are per se not recognized by the copyright law. What the copyright law recognizes under Section 38 is a right in a performer, which is also the basis of filing the suit. In fact, there was a Delhi High Court judgment in the case of Titan, where Titan had sued on the misuse of Mr. Bachchan's image, which was proprietary to them, that is Mr. and Mrs. Bachchan's image, and got an order where the jurisprudence developed on personality. This order, Vidya, is unique in a way because this order is an order against the world at large, as an absolute order to use his name, that is Amitabh Bachchan, Bachchan, or AB or Big B, without his consent, his photograph, his image, and his voice. In fact, the basis of cause of action is also a misuse of his voice. We had prior to this, Vidya, sent a lot of notices, but it becomes very difficult. Without judicial intervention, it is impossible for any celebrity, or anyone for that matter, to monitor this kind of an action. And therefore, court's intervention was necessary on the basis of this hybrid genre action.
Is this applicable only for someone using his attributes for commercial programs?
So Vidya, this is an absolute order. There are no carve-outs. What is fair dealing in law has been defined by courts, news reporting, etc. Now the question is, what is covered by this order? This is a dynamic order, but more importantly, this order is absolute. So there are no exceptions, there are no carve-outs. Fair dealing, like news reporting, is covered. Now anything else is outside this. Now therefore, come to Mr. Bachchan, take his permission, whether it's commercial, non-commercial, social, non-social, allow him to decide. Because whether it's being misused or used in the manner in which he deems appropriate is his prerogative and only can be his prerogative.
So his voice, name, gesture, nothing can be used without his permission?
No. There is no, again I'm saying this, there is no carve out in this order for commercial or non-commercial. This is an absolute order in rem. So this is an order at world at large to not use his image, name, likeness, any of his attributes. So therefore, commerciality is not the basis of this order. The order is a right vested in him to not misuse any of his attributes without his permission, or not to use his attributes without any permission. More important.
So what happens to people doing comic stand-ups using Mr. Bachchan's voice manners?
Of course. That's the purpose and the intent of the order, that unless you seek Mr. Bachchan's permission, let Mr. Bachchan alone decide what has to be done with his attributes. Let the third person not decide what to do with those attributes. Look, ultimately, that doesn't come under fair dealing, is our view. Ultimately, the courts will have to decide. But the most important part is that today the order is absolute. So there is no carve out for X, Y, Z, whether it's parody, whether it is comicry, whether it is imitation. The order is absolute. That's what the order is. Thank you, Vidya.